Everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. I want to start off tonight by remembering an educational giant that we recently lost. It is with deep sadness that we announce the passing of Fred Langstaff, whom many of you know. Fred began his service in the field of education in 1989 as a member of the Sayville Board of Education. In 1998, he was elected to the Eastern Suffolk BOCES Board of Education, and then he served as the New York State School Board Association Area 12 Director from 2007 to 2019, and as the President of the New York State School Board Association from 2020 to 2021. Fred dedicated his tenure as President of the New York State School Board Association to ensuring a zip code should not determine a student's outcome. And you might have seen there was a lovely article on Fred in Newsday, and it was well deserved. Fred believed in living the life you're given, and he was a fighter until the end. His license plate read Second Life, and his moniker he was known as the Tin Man, as his chest held a donated heart of a young man since 2011, and his heart was damaged as he was battling cancer. He never let that stop him, though, from doing what he loved, and he had a zest for life and made the most of the time that he was given. Fred will be remembered very fondly for his kindness, his advocacy, and the ethical life that he lived each and every day. I'm sure many of you know Fred. I've served with Fred on the Nassau Suffolk School Board Association for the last 9 years, and he was just a wonderful man. And it's really a sad loss too soon, but he gave so much, and it's one good thing to see is that he's being remembered for everything that he did for us. There's going to be a memorial service held in Fred's honor on Saturday, August 19th at 10 a.m. at the Sayville Congregational United Church of Christ in the Sayville. I ask that everyone please keep Fred and his family in your thoughts and prayers. And if you haven't seen it, check out the Newsday article, as it does a good job capturing his life. There's also a very lengthy correspondence that we received in our board packet as well. In that regard, I ask for a moment of silence in honor of Fred Langstaff. Thank you. Okay, we're not live streaming today. We're having some internet issues in the district. But we will be taping it and then putting this up on the web shortly thereafter. So we're still taping. We have a couple presentations today, some Eagle Scout proposals. But before I do that, I do want to recognize that we have with us a recent grad, Mr. Vladimir Gaberman, who's joined us. He wanted to come check out the meeting. He'll be off to London, England, in a couple weeks. He graduated in the top of his class. He's been accepted to and is going to NYU, and he'll be studying in London for his first year. Most people go junior year abroad. He's going freshman year abroad. And so we wish him well, as he did a great job at Woburn. He also helped us out a lot with our PR and stuff, and doing pictures and helping get the pictures ready for our Heritage Room. So good luck, Vlad. Okay. Our first Eagle Scout proposal is from Ian Francis Schneider. Here. Come on up. Tell us a little about yourself and your project.
Hi, I'm Ian Schneider from Troop 12 of Huntington. I go to Coast Spring Harbor High School, and I'm looking to get my project proposal signed tonight.
What's your, can you just tell us a little about the project?
So at Oakwood Primary Center, I'm building 4 benches, 1.5 feet high, 2.5 feet wide, and 6 feet long. And they're going to be cemented, and they're going to be by the playground area.
Okay. Great. Anything else you'd like to tell us?
No. Okay. Well, I don't really have much other to say except for that.
Okay. Great.
It's going to be made out of pressure-treated wood, and it's going to be sealed and stained.
Okay. So they'll last?
Yeah, I think so.
They come with a guarantee or no? No. Okay. What year are you in Cold Spring Harbor?
I'm going into junior year.
Junior. Okay, great. Thank you. Board have any questions on it? Okay.
Nice job.
Do you have your packet? We'll sign it off and give you the permission. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, well, thank you, Ian. Wish you best of luck, and thank you for beautifying our school, even though you're from a neighboring district.
Still love you.
Appreciate the work. And then Mason, are you here? Mason Lockhart? All right, Mason, come on down.
Hello, my name is Mason Lockhart, and I'm a recent 2023 graduate from Waltman High School. I'm going to JMU studying civil engineering, and I'm now an Eagle Scout. I built 2 benches at the south entrance of Waltman High School. They're 2 by 4 feet. They're made of cedar, and I stain them. They're not cemented in, so they're made to be transported. So if you need a bench on wherever you need, my benches are there for you. They're really nice. And I think that's pretty much it.
Are they pressure treated or?
No.
No.
Cedar.
Oh, cedar. Okay.
No
All right.
need. Cedar.
Will they last longer than the other projects? Okay.
100%. Without a doubt. But yeah, thank you for your time.
Okay, great. That one obviously is already built, so it's a catch-up one. Any questions on it? All right, we'll sign your proposal, and thank you for the work. There you go. Did you have an Eagle Scout ceremony?
Not yet.
All right, well, make sure you invite us. All right. All right, best of luck, Mason. Good luck in school. All right, that's the end of our presentations. Take a motion to adopt the agenda. Trying to get used to this new agenda. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. LaCara. Any questions on the agenda? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Items E through F require one resolution for adoption, though there's not much there today. No bills, and no bids, no minutes, and a couple of financial items. Motion? Ms. Meyer, second. Mr. Biangasso. Any questions on E through F? All in favor? Any opposed? I think it used to be C through F too, so a lot of things are changing here. Yeah, it was always C through F, so. Okay, so there's E through H. Okay. Communications are listed. Then we have the newsletter there from Fred Lang's staff that you see. It's really, really beautiful. Great, man. Okay. Moving on to our new business. New business item number 1 is a discussion on discussion on the district's voting hours, which are currently 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. This is not a resolution yet. It's really open for discussion to see what the board wants to do, and if we want to make a change, then we would follow up with a resolution at one of the September meetings. So we've got some material on what other districts do. We seem to be one of only one other or 2 others that, I think one other maybe, that ends at 10, so it's kind of late. By the time we counted the votes, it was near 11 o'clock. So board have any thoughts on our voting hours? Mr. Bronson?
I was just going to add, I think based on the numbers that we had from another district and from my own personal experience, after 9 o'clock, the number of people that were voting was quite slim. It was another reason, not only were we the only district that was, the only other district going to attend, but just looking at the numbers, there's very few people that were really coming in after 9. So I think part of the discussion was just perhaps taking that hour and shifting it to make it a little bit earlier. So the same time period, but again, maybe getting a little more voters out, between 2 and 3 than we would between 9 and 10.
Start at 2, so go 2 to 9?
2 to
2
9.
to 9, because it's the same 7 hours, just shifts it. What does everybody think about that? Good? Okay, good. All right, so we will move on to item 2. Item 1, we'll follow up with that, with the resolution at the September, I think it's 6th meeting. Okay, item number 2, also discussion matter. This is discussion regarding IDEA eligibility, and there was a new decision that came out from the Second Circuit and regarding age attendance for schools. And before it was thought that you got to stay until you were 21. This decision and the interpretive guidance by State Education Department says now a student has the right to attend till their 22nd birthday, or really the day before their 22nd birthday. Then the district no longer has to provide them an education. Of course, there's a question, what happens when the birthday is in the middle of the year? And so it is then the district's option, if they want, to allow the student to stay through the completion of the school year, or to say you turn 21, 22, and then you need to leave. So that is it's a change in the law, significant change, could add an additional year, and it has certainly costs associated with it. So we're locked into 22, but the board has the discretion to say you need to leave at 22, or to let them finish out the school year. What does everybody think? Mr. Scragg.
I'll speak to the point. As per our previous discussion, I think the only equitable thing to do is to end it on their 22nd birthday, because otherwise some students would be getting more services towards the end of the school year, or like an extended school year. So I agree, or I think that we should just end it on their 22nd birthday.
And this we wouldn't need a resolution for. It's really just to give direction to administration. What does everybody else think? Everyone accord with Mr. Scragg?
Yes.
I agree.
Okay, I agree as well. Okay. It's already a added obligation for us, and so I think that's it. Okay, moving on to item number 3. This we do need a resolution for. It's discussion and potential change on the weighting of Regents and final exams. Is there a motion? Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. LaCara. Dr. Murphy.
Yes, we're just going back to pre-COVID. All our final exams and Regents exams were weighted for 20% of a student's final average. With the new implementation of Regents pre-COVID, in math, we decided to go to 1/9 or 11%. We were on par to go back to 20% to all exams and Regents, and then COVID hit us. And with the changes to New York State Regents, Board of Regents, and saying where they dropped the passing grade, and also the no failure option for some of our students taking Regents, we decided to have all, with the Curriculum Council, went to 11% for all of them, and evaluate with an evaluation at the end of this year. After looking at the data for state Regents, as well as some of the final exams, it was recommended by myself to the Curriculum Council, which they agreed, that we would move from the 11% back to the 20% for all Regents and final exams at the secondary level. That would be grades 6 through 12.
And what's the thought process on that, or the rationale?
The rationale was it takes ownership of the tests. Teachers were in favor of it. It allows students to understand that these final exams, especially Regents exams, are just as important in a student's final average. That it's necessary throughout the year to make sure they're preparing for these exams, and that these assessments would be taken seriously. And we've seen that through the data that we've collected either pre-COVID or even this year with looking at our state assessment data.
And this was discussed at Curriculum Council, Mr. LaCara? And the council is in agreement, or?
Yes.
Okay. What does the rest of the board think? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Of course, there is a blue ribbon commission studying graduation requirements, and they're supposed to deliver their final report in the fall. So, and it's expected that the Regents is going to be a big part of that. So we'll see if the Regents are left in what form. So we may need to revisit this issue. Okay, moving on to item number 4 is adoption of a report pertaining to the Wildcat Booster Club. Is there a motion? Mr. Bronson, seconded by Mr. Biangasso. Dr. D'Elia?
Yes, this was done by Naraki Smith. This was done by Naraki Smith, one of our auditors here within the district, and this is just to provide the Booster Club with some procedures, recommended procedures to use as they're preparing and working with all their finances. So the Booster Club worked closely with Naraki Smith, and the guidance has been well received by the Booster Club.
Board have any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, resolution is adopted. Okay, moving on to item number 5 is the approval of a license agreement between the South Huntington School District and Huntington Unity Fun Day. Motion. Mr. Biangasso, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Dr. D'Elia again.
Yes, this is our annual event that we work closely with the town of Huntington with. Unity Day will be September 30th this year, and we're looking to have another great day. We keep making it bigger and better, and we're hoping for great sunshine that day, and this gets the ball rolling. We've been meeting. We've had numerous meetings already. It's a pretty big committee, and it's a great partnership that we have with the town. And South Huntington does play a big role in this, and we're proud of that. But that's how important it is to all of us and how we feel about it. So,
And I know we start over at the Huntington High School, so are all approvals in order yet? Or?
not yet. So we're still working on that with Huntington School District. We're hoping that they've asked for some information, and we're providing it for them as far as insurances and so we're hoping their board does approve this, because if their board decides not to approve it, then I don't think we're going to be able to have a parade that day. So I hope it doesn't get to that, but so wait and see.
Okay. I see a rain date too. Have we had that before, or is that new?
It's new. Here's the thing. We put so much time and effort to make this day a reality. To just let Mother Nature take over and say, no, it's going to happen or not going to happen, we'd like to have a little bit more of a say in that. So that's why we went with a rain date.
Okay. Okay. Board, have any questions? Or all in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to item number 6 is the approval of agreement between the South Huntington School District and Huntington YMCA. Motion. Ms. Byer, seconded by Mr. Bronson. Dr. Murphy.
Yes, this is an annual agreement. Contrary to what the high school students would say to the freshmen, there is no pool at Walt Whitman High School. So what we do is we utilize the services of the YMCA for our practices, for our swim team, girls and boys, and obviously our meets are in other districts who have access to pool.
Any questions for Dr. Murphy? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to item number 7, approval of an overnight field trip for cheerleading. Motion. Mr. Scragg, seconded by Mr. Biangasso. Dr. Murphy?
Yes, this is a field trip from August 24th to 27th to Pennsylvania. It's really training camps for some of our cheer team members who will be attending. It is before the school year starts, and it is something that helps them get prepared for their cheer season. Now that we're having 2 seasons, we're doing a fall season and a winter season now with our cheer team.
Okay. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, we have one more approval, another overnight field trip. Motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Mr. Biangasso. Dr. Murphy again?
Yes, this is our annual trip to Syracuse for our varsity marching band at the high school level. It'll be from October 28th to 30th. This is kind of the culmination of their season. It's their national championships where marching bands from across the Northeast will be participating in it.
Great. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to new business, item number 9 is the approval of bid 2403 for burner and boiler repair services. Motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Mr. Conway.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. So this is the result of an RFP put out for a boiler burner service award. It is done through a Suffolk County School Facility Association consortium, which saves us money by allowing us to do a bid, and then other school districts that participate in this group do their own, and we could all jump off of each one's work. This is looking to award it to Island Industrial, which is the lowest cost of the three remaining, and also one we have quite a bit of experience and good luck with in the past.
Okay. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to item number 10 is the approval of some obsolete books. Motion. Ms. Meyer, second. Mr. Bronson. Dr. Murphy.
Yes, every year our librarians go through their the libraries to look at the state of their books, to see which ones are torn or broken, need to be thrown away, as well as just the content of books. They go out of date. Their material that we don't share really is not acceptable anymore. So they're in charge of taking these books, being able to tag them, identify them, and then we mark them as obsolete.
Okay, questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Resolution 10 carries. Moving on to item 11, approval of a travel allowance for a SHA member. Motion. Mr. Biasso, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Okay, this is approval of a $600 stipend for the supervisor for guidance K-12 position. That will be filled momentarily. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Item 12, approval of attendance for various board members to attend the Nassau-Suffolk Annual Resolutions Dinner on September 27th at Fox Hollow. Motion. Mr. Scragg, seconded by Mr. Bronson. That's really all there is to it. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Anyone else wants to attend? Feel free. All right. Item 13, approval of an agreement between South Huntington School District and School Aid Specialists, LLC. Motion. Mr. Biangasso, seconded by Ms. Meyer. Dr. Fulton.
This is an annual agreement that we have with school aid specialists. They are working with us to maximize our revenue on Medicaid billing, and we've been very successful using their service, so we'd like to continue.
Okay, great. And they pay, we give them 20% of whatever they recover, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Questions for Dr. Fulton? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to item number 14. We have a series of board policies now. Our first board policy is 3140 flag display. Do we have a motion? Mr. Bronson, seconded by Mr. Scragg. This is a really housekeeping change to be consistent with the education law and the district's current practice regarding flag demonstration at half staff. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Moving on to item 15 is approval of board policy 7110 on attendance. Motion. Ms. LaCara, seconded by Mr. Bronson. Dr. Murphy, this is all you.
Yes, recently with the Curriculum Council and with the help of Mr. Bronson, we reviewed some of our policies that were a little out of date. One of them was the attendance policy. It mentioned programs we don't utilize anymore, as well as didn't fit the demographics of the students that we currently serve. We made some slight adjustments to be able to make sure that it addressed the needs of students, and that we were also making sure that we were trying to improve the overall attendance of our secondary students. So policies were enacted at both the middle school and high school that will reflect these, and then this is also reflected in the board policy.
Okay. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. And how does that get disseminated?
It goes into the Student Code of Conduct, which is on the district website. It is also in the student agenda book, as well as obviously on in the board policy that is accessed through the website.
Okay. Speaking of Code of Conduct, that's our next policy, 7310. Is there a motion? Mr. Scragg, seconded by Mr. Bronson. Dr. Murphy again.
Another policy that we looked at was the Code of Conduct. While it didn't change as much as the attendance, there were some items that really didn't talk about the use. Obviously, electronics, 21st century digital age, they really weren't in something that was created in the 1990s. They were still using beepers. So we had to kind of look at that. We wanted to make sure it also didn't call for the Code of Conduct where a one-to-one personal device that the district utilizes, which goes in hand with other policies. So we need to make sure that the Code of Conduct, that if somebody misused or misappropriated some of this equipment, if it was something that was more relevant to what our students go through now, that we were able to address it and give consequences if needs be.
Okay. Questions on the Code of Conduct? Mr. Brunson?
Ms. Meyer had a couple suggestions. I just want to make sure that they were incorporated and kind of in line with
Yes.
what Dr. Murphy said about
Absolutely.
okay.
Well, I know received them, and they were instituted in within the suggestions.
Any further questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you for the comments, Mr. Bronson and Ms. Meyer. Item 17, our last of our board policies today, revisions to 7311, loss and destruction of district property. Is there a motion? Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Dr. Fulton?
So this policy goes really hand in hand with the previous policy, 7310. When reviewing that code of conduct, we noticed that there were some things in the 7311 that really highlighted items of district property such as desks and chairs and windows, but really left out the aspect of technology that we're seeing so much now. So we included some language in here to ensure that district property also includes technology and also give some guidelines on the effective ways that students should really be using technology and caring for their technology.
Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to item number 18, we have the approval of an agreement between the South Huntington School District and Federation of Organizations regarding the district's foster grandparent program. Motion. Mr. Biangasso, seconded by Ms. LaCara. Mr. Smith, haven't heard from you yet.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cepeda. For the board's consideration, this annual memorandum of understanding allows the Foster Grandparents Program to continue its partnership with our elementary schools. It's been a long-standing partnership, which we certainly enjoy. The program provides adults over the age of 55 with the opportunity to serve as mentors to our students.
Yeah, we've been doing this a while. It's a beautiful program.
Absolutely.
Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Item number 19, approval of district-wide school safety plan for the 2023-2024 school year. Motion. Ms. Meyer, second. Mr. Scragg, Mr. Biangasso. Mr. Smith, we'll hear from you again. You did a good job, sir.
All right. Thank you. Also for the board's approval is our 23-24 school district safety plan. It has been available for public comment for the last month as a draft and is now ready for adoption.
Okay. We previously saw this. Any other questions on this? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to item number 20, declaration of obsolete items for Auctions International. Is there a motion? Mr. Bronson, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Mr. Conway, it seems like we're emptying the entire building. A lot of stuff
Trying
here.
to find some space.
Yeah.
So, correct, they're obviously going through the different buildings throughout the years and finding items that can be disposed of. What we came across in this batch of items is old things such as furniture, tables, old vehicles, VCRs even, TVs, different shop equipment such as saws. And what we're looking to do here, with your approval, is to send that off to Auctions International, post it on a website, and then any sale proceeds would come back to the general fund in the form of revenue.
Okay, so first we declare obsolete, then it goes on auction. There's a lot of chairs here and tables, so, I mean, they're no good anymore, or?
So what that relates to is during COVID, a lot of new furniture was purchased due to the spacing requirements to move children and staff throughout the building. Now that we're back to the pre-COVID phase, we put the classrooms back with the new furniture that was recently purchased. So this is essentially accessing the old furniture which had been in place pre-COVID.
Okay.
We also still have a good backup of reserves in case we need it. If we have a student population jump, we're still in good shape.
Okay. It's amazing that we can hold all this stuff. It's a lot of, we got a lot of stuff in here. Pallets of Lysol, student desks, a sander, a vacuum. Yeah, I mean,
I was going to ask why, and maybe it's a space issue. I noticed that Lysol and wipes, which were so difficult to find during COVID, I wasn't sure why we were surplusing those. And you know,
I think it's probably just due to strictly an excess.
is that what it is?
I think it's as simple as that.
Yes.
They have an expiration.
They have an expiration
No,
then.
the MS couldn't tear data sheet, we're not allowed to use them.
So what's happening is that there were some chemicals, even though we were in a rush to buy cleaning chemicals, then the state education department said there were some things we weren't allowed to use, so we purchased, and these wipes, Clorox was one of them.
Not that I want to take people back to COVID, but it was a crazy time where there were rules and no rules, and a lot of districts were just trying to figure everything out at the end of the day. So that's kind of how that ended up happening.
Are we able to donate those items to the Wildcat Food Pantry? and distribute them to families that might need them as regular cleaning supplies?
I don't see an issue with that.
Or could we look into whether that's feasible or
Yeah, yeah.
possible? Only because those are costly items that if our district families can use them, I'd rather see it go to that than
Okay.
get pennies on the dollar at an auction.
We absolutely will look into it.
Thank you.
Yeah, that'd be great. So are they past their expiration date though, these, or is that what the issue is? Oh. Yeah, but we can't use them. Oh, okay. All right, so, yeah, that'd be wonderful if we could do that. And then, if anyone wants a VCR DVD player, that's, I'm sure that's gonna be a hot item on the, auction.
My wedding video is on VHS.
See, you could use it, right? Maybe use it. It's a combined one, so that's rare. All right. Okay, any questions on obsolete items? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Be curious to know how much, how we do on the, if you can update us on how we do on the auction. Okay, item 21, substitute pay increase for 2023-2024, motion. Ms. Meyer, second. Mr. Biancasso. All right, Mr. Smith, one more time.
Yep. For the board's approval is the adoption of the substitute teacher pay for this upcoming school year. The biggest change is that substitute teachers that are in the same placement for 30 days, the rate would increase from the daily rate of $140 to $175 a day. And if they're in the same placement then 60 days, it would then go up one last time to $200 a day for those teachers. Also within this resolution is the increase in minimum wage in January to $16 an hour.
What's the thought process on the short-term permanent subs? Are we behind other districts or difficulty getting?
I would say behind in other districts where a lot of other districts are offering this type of incentive. So basically you have a teacher that's in the role of a teacher, that is doing all the planning, that is doing all the prepping, that sometimes is in that role for 60 to even more days than that, and receiving the same pay as a permanent sub that might be coming in and just covering a class.
Okay.
So it's kind of probably what's more fair and is in line with a lot of other districts and what they're doing across the island.
That makes sense. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business. Item number 22 is the approval of an out-of-district placement in a contract between the school district and the Cleary School for the Deaf for one student. Is there a motion? Mr. Scragg, seconded by Mr. Bronson. Dr. Fulton, can you just tell us about this school?
Yes, this was a recommendation from the Committee on Special Education for a student to attend Cleary School for the Deaf for next year, and it's something that gets reviewed annually, so we don't know if this is going to be a repeat contract, but for this next year, it is currently in place.
Okay, questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, moving on to item number 23 is recommendations for placements of the students by the Committee on Special Education, the Committee on Preschool Special Education, many dates: March, April, May, June, July, and August. Questions? Oh, well, we need a motion first. Motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Personnel schedules. We have personnel schedules 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, and 22. Is there a motion? Mr. Bronson, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Questions?
Are these, since we don't have online access, I reviewed the personnel schedules last night. Are these the same as what were on last night, or have there been any changes?
I think there were changes, but I don't think we're adopting them because of that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Those changes will have to wait, right? Yeah.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
so it's the same as whatever you reviewed, yeah. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, 2 personnel announcements to make there. We are moving to a 2 assistant principal option over at, not option, 2 structure over at Stimson Middle School. So we will have now 2 assistant principals there. Mr. Sansada has been there a long time, and also now Mr. Kellerman will be joining, so congratulations. And also, Mr. Corey Blair, we are changing his title to really reflect what he does. He's been an assistant principal for guidance, but really he is our K through 12 supervisor of guidance, and we're changing his title to reflect that. So congratulations, well deserved, Corey. Okay. Personal, no committees. Future meetings, 9/6 and 9/20 to start the school year. Comments by board members. Mr. Bronson.
Just briefly, we have our next audit committee meeting is October 3rd, for those of you that may be interested. And also, I just wanted to wish the teachers, other staff, administrators, parents, and students a great start to the school year, since our next board meeting will not be until September 6th.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Bronson. Other comments by board members? Yes, Ms. Meyer.
Along with wishing everyone a great start to the school year, I just want to congratulate everyone that was involved in Wildcat Camp this year. I think it was still going on during our last meeting, but it seems like it was a great success. We had the addition of art, music, and theater this year, which was tremendous, as well as cooking and baking, which was sold out, alongside all of our sports programs and coding and science. So I personally had a great experience with my kids again this year and saw lots of smiling faces. And then also just to comment on the extended school year program, which I've had the privilege of seeing through some of our social media posts. Looks like it's been an absolute success, and lots of art therapy and different opportunities, and community members that were able to come in and share their experiences as well. So we know that everyone's been working super hard this summer, so thank you to everyone that put in that effort to continue to make our school district and our community a great place to be.
Thank you, Ms. Meyer. Any other comments by board members? Just give a quick facilities update. As you can see, there's a lot happening around the district, all good stuff, a lot of construction going on, and more to come. You'll see we are installing solar arrays at nearly all of our buildings, and that work is progressing rapidly. That's part of our energy performance contract. Our company's doing a great job on that. Over at Walt Whitman High School, we have the construction of our art gallery, which the board voted at the last meeting to name after Vicki Dolan, who raised the funds to make that art gallery possible. We believe the construction will be completed before the end of the year, school year, that is. And last but certainly not least, we've redone our gym floor in the north of Walden High School, and we're in process of redoing the south, and they look spectacular. So I think people will really be impressed. It's really it's just absolutely gorgeous job, and hopefully it'll be done by the start of the school year, but if not too shortly thereafter. And then also we're also completing, and I think we're making pretty good progress on our safety and security vestibules at all of the buildings as well. So good work happening. During the course of the year, there'll be even more construction work happening. At the fitness center at Walden High School, it's going to be completely renovated, and it's going to look amazing. It'll be a great space for all of our students, our student athletes, as well as every student that goes through the building. And then after the fall season is over, football will begin deconstructing the bleachers, replacing them, much needed, tearing down the press box there and replacing that, and also installing for the first time outdoor bathrooms. So a lot going on now and a lot to come. Okay, Dr. D'Elia.
Thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. Just a few things. I know, congratulations once again to Mr. Kellerman in that assistant principal role. We're looking at the structure at Stimson and also at Walt Whitman High School, where we recently had a dean that accepted a position in another district. The board has moved that role from dean to assistant principal. We thank you very much for that. So this is how the structure will be. We'll have 4 assistant principals now at Walt Whitman High School, and each assistant principal will be assigned a grade level, and they will follow that grade level all the way through. So we built some real cohesion with administration and the students. And we're also going to follow that model over at Stimson, being that we have 2 wonderful assistant principals. There'll be 1 for 7th and 1 for 8th. And I thank the board for supporting this, and we really think it's going to benefit the students and parents tremendously. Thank you. Also, Ms. Meyer, you asked about school lunch at the last board meeting. We've been following it. We're at the last level of approval, so we thought we'd have it for tonight, but once we get it, we should definitely know before the school year starts, I would hope. But we're close to approval. We're at the finish line. So any day, any moment now, we should know. And I also want to thank everybody for all their work over the summer. Like Ms. Meyer mentioned, we had great programs. There's a lot of work involved. I also want to thank all the people that are working so hard in getting the doors open on September 5th for our students. It's funny, as a principal, people would say to me that don't know a lot about the education workforce, would say, you know, during the summer, there's probably not much to do. They even say it to me as superintendent. I can't believe I say that, but I do hear it every so often. But there's a lot of work that goes on over the summer to ensure we want to come to you September 6th at our next board meeting and saying that there's been a smooth transition. We can't just say that. There's work that goes behind that. And I want to thank everybody I know that they're working really hard, and we're gonna have a great 23-24 school year, and we're gonna start that on September 5th. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lear. All right. Comments by the public. Voice of the resident? No? Okay. I will take then a motion to go into executive session. We will be returning to the public, I suspect, after that. I'll take a motion to go into executive session for two matters. First, we'll go into executive session to discuss matters of personnel. We're going to conduct interviews for assistant principal at Walden High School, and I anticipate we'll make an appointment later today. And then a matter of litigation, specifically federal lawsuit filed in the Eastern District of New York, AD a minor by parents KD and GD versus South Huntington Union Free School District and the Board of Education of the South Huntington Union Free School District. So we're going to vote to go into executive session to discuss those two matters. Is there a motion? Ms. McLeod, seconded by Mr. Bronson. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, we'll see you in a little bit. the board meeting. Motion, and then executive session. Ms. Meyer, second. Mr. Bronson, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, we're gonna have an add-on to our agenda. We have a amended Schedule 3. I'll take a motion to amend Schedule 3 of the personnel schedules. Mr. Biangasso, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Any questions on the amendment? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Now we will vote on Schedule 3 as amended. Is there a motion? Mr. Bronson, seconded by Mr. Biangasso. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. With that, we have a new appointment to announce. We have a new assistant principal at Wellwood High School for grade 11, Ms. Alexandra Andrade. Congratulations. Give you a little background. Ms. Andrade comes from, most recently, Sewanaka Central High School, where she's the Family and Consumer Services District Coordinator and Chairperson, where she's coordinated curriculum development and supplies across 5 junior high schools and senior high schools and 10 family and consumer sciences teachers while simultaneously teaching 2 sections. She brings a wealth of experience, and we're thrilled to have her. Congratulations. Like to say anything before we?
I'm just really grateful and excited to finish out my career here. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Excellent. Congratulations. All right. With that, we'll take a motion to adjourn. Mr. Scragg, seconded by Mr. Biangasso. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed?